Okay, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started. We just wanted to have a very quick stream today, only about half an hour or so, to number one, work on a little bit of hobby, believe it or not, like old school paints and model hobby, and also to announce that we're going to be taking a seasonal break. It's just a short break, like maybe 3 weeks or so. We're going to be taking a break until about November 1st. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get us started. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay, and everything sounds alright. Okay, everything seems to be cool. Alright guys, so here we have the American post-war light tank, the M41 Walker Bulldog. A little 76mm high velocity gun, 50 caliber machine gun, a little bit of armor plating, fast little speed, typical American undergunned and under armored tank. Again, almost a tradition up until very recent times, but at the same time a great little power plant. Other nations, when they buy our tanks or use our tanks, they always like our power plant. Served a little bit in Vietnam at least. Was also around in the early 60s. I think there were some involved in the Bay of Pigs. It served with ARVN forces against T-55s in the later parts of the Vietnam conflict after the Americans pulled out. And yeah, it's been around, and some countries still use it to this day, upgraded with all kinds of reactive armor and the usual stuff. So this was a model that I picked up at Historicon quite some time ago. Sorry guys, I keep forgetting where the camera is. I'm sorry, I apologize. So this is a model that we picked up at Historicon 2019, and it was pretty badly damaged. I got the whole thing for $10, as it is. So one thing that I did have to fix was, as you can see here, hopefully, I had to create an entire new road wheel from scratch. It looks pretty bad in this light, but hopefully at a distance and from more favorable light, it doesn't quite show up quite as bad. This was completely fabricated from like little pieces of poster board and paper, and you name it. The whole thing is completely scratch built. This wheel was completely missing. The axle was snapped off, as you can see here, and the whole tank was basically like a three-legged dog. It just wasn't working. So I super glued in a wooden dowel. I made my own little temporary axle, for lack of a better term. Of course, the wheel no longer spins freely. The wheels used to actually spin freely, and the tracks actually move. Of course, this side no longer does that, but the tank at least now sits on an even keel. And at first glance, it actually looks like a complete model. So that's the first thing that I did with this thing. With the structural, corrections all kind of fixed and complete, I wanted to move on to some very basic, some very light weathering and things like that. I'm also going to, one of these days, repaint these 50 caliber handles. I don't know what these guys were thinking. I guess they were going for like a wooden color or something like that. But this thing is actually pretty rough. It's it's like a salmon orange pink or something. I don't know what gunnery range this guy's been going to, but it's actually pretty rough. So yeah, I'm just gonna touch up this tank a little bit, add a little bit of weathering, maybe some chipping. Again, a super fast stream today, guys, maybe half an hour. The real purpose of the stream, not to put too fine a point on it, is to announce that we're going to be taking a short seasonal break. So things have been getting a little crazy lately, and the team got together and kind of figured that it might be a good idea to sort of regroup and kind of catch up on things. We've rolled out a new website. We've had content like twice a week now for God knows how long. 3 times a week if you count the podcast. We have a podcast every other week, so sometimes it's 3 times a week. And we're just folks, man. We don't have a studio. We're not like a company that gets to do this for a living or anything like that. We all have full-time jobs. Some of us more than one full-time job, plus girlfriends, plus families, plus plus. I'm still in the midst of getting things ready for let me stop talking while I get that line on there. Okay, cool. Hopefully that line shows up a little bit better on camera than it does in real life. I'm still bogged down with trying to get stuff done for Valor and Victory in Stalingrad. There's other projects that the team's got going on, so we're not going anywhere. I want to promise everybody that, like, emphatically. And let me make sure I look in the camera when I say this. Make no mistake, we're going to be back in like 2.5 weeks. Now, even during that time, we're not going to be completely gone. We're going to be up and running every Sunday. We're still going to have our Sunday content. If it's not one of our weekly war games, it'll be something else. And we will also let me not talk while I'm doing this. Sorry. And also, so what I meant to say was we'll have something up every Sunday, and we'll be back full strength with podcasts and Wednesday content, Sunday content, things like that after November 1st. So, long story short, take your first shot. We're taking Halloween off. How about that? Halloween, and not to put too fine a point on it, my birthday is next week. It's a big one too, let me tell you. I finally joined the 5th echelon, so to speak, if you know what I mean. The big 5-0 next week. So, yeah. I'll be out of town a little bit for that. And there's some family stuff coming up. I have to prepare for that. I actually have to get like audio-visual material together for that. We're putting on a little show for some people in my family. So there's a lot going on, guys. I really hate the expression because I think it's kind of a cop-out. The whole real life gets in the way. I really hate that expression. Nevertheless, sometimes it is kind of true. And I hate that expression because, believe it or not, call me crazy, I consider hobby real life. I know that might be the minority opinion. But when you, make a like, sure, let's run a game, or let's do some hobby, let's do this, let's do that, and we set up a time for it. How about, when we make commitments to you guys, our community, and we say we're going to be on every Sunday, every Wednesday, stuff like that. You guys are real people. Or when somebody makes a game date and says, hey, let's go ahead and run a game on, Tuesday the 5th or something. And then you say, oh, sorry, I can't make it. Real life gets in the way. Well, dude, I'm a real person, and you just, kind of jerked me off and wasted my time. That kind of gets a little bit, So, normally, I'm not a fan of that expression. Real life gets in the way. However, this last couple weeks, man, and not just me, Bill, Marty, the whole group, it's been, Chris, there's a lot of stuff. We don't often talk about everything that's going on in our personal lives right now, but trust me, right now there's a lot going on and off the gaming table. Family wise, I had some very, very bad news from the doctor 2 weeks ago. Things are, nothing, I don't have cancer or anything, relax, I don't have COVID or anything like that, but there are some problems that I have to address, like now. Here I am turning 50. If I ever want to live long enough to see 60, I gotta make some big time changes. So there is a lot going on at work. There are problems. I don't want to spill the beans on what's going on at work, because you're not supposed to do that in a professional setting. But trust me, there are things going on, at least where I work. I can't speak for the whole team on that one. And again, hobby isn't just Sitrep podcast. I mean, I'm already a little late on what I was supposed to provide the people that I'm working with over there for the Stalingrad Valor and Victory. Everything was built and delivered on time. As far as the games and the scenarios and the maps, the play testing took way longer than I thought. And I'm now like a solid, I don't know, month behind schedule. I hate being late. I am not the person that other people ever wait on. That's never me. Except this time it's kind of happened. So everything's cool. We literally just need like an extra laugh to kind of catch up. A lot of people don't consider hobby or gaming real life. I actually do, because it involves and engages other people, especially when you're involved in a group like this that has a community and we're trying to grow and things like that. I do consider hobby real life. So the whole idea that real life automatically comes first, I don't subscribe to that. Sorry, that's just not me. However, those other parts of real life are also real life, and sometimes they need to take precedence. My only exception is that they don't always take precedence. However, when they start to gang up on you, it is time to set some priorities. Ooh, that went on there a little thick. So if you don't see us for a couple Wednesdays or for a podcast or two, have no fear. November 1st, we will be back realigned, refreshed, and 100%. Up until then, we're going to, like I said, keep going with our Sunday content until we are... Oh, this wash isn't going on very well. We're going to go... we're going to be back on November 1st, our break officially ends. I'm not sure when the first podcast is scheduled after that. I think it's November 6th. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Hello, Vorpalbite, how you doing? I actually don't know what scale it is. It's big. It's like 1 to 36 or something like that. It's an M41 Walker Bulldog. Vietnam, Bay of Pigs. Arvin used it after in the later part of Vietnam. So basically, American light tank, largely for export, 1960s and 70s. I think this was replaced in American inventory by the Sheridan, when they were convinced that Shillelagh anti-tank missile was going to be a thing. I don't know. The Americans also wanted to put that in their M1 Abrams, back before it was the M1 Abrams, back when it was still the XMBT-70, joint project with the West Germans. And the Germans wanted to put it in their 120mm smoothbore, i.e. the RH-120 that's in the Leopard 2 and the Abrams today. The Germans wanted to put that in there as early as the mid-70s. And the Americans were like, no. Tanks don't use guns anymore. They're going to use guided missiles exclusively. Because the Americans have never made that mistake before. And along comes the 152mm gun, low-velocity gun that could also fire the Shillelagh anti-tank missile. And the Germans and the Germans were like, no, man, tank guns are still a thing. Tank guns are still a thing. Trust me, we're the Germans. We know something about tank guns. The Americans were like, nope. So the Germans and the Americans sort of went their separate ways in the early 70s. The XMBT-70 project died and split into two projects, namely the Leopard 2 and what would become the Abrams. Guess what happened? That Shillelagh anti-tank missile didn't really work out. So when the Abrams finally did launch as a strictly American tank, It had the old and busted, I mean, it was great in its day, but it's now the early 1980s, and the Americans are rolling out a brand new next generation main battle tank with a 105mm rifle on it, the British L7. The Americans call it the M68. Dude, you've started off a generation behind. And hat in hand, the Americans in the mid-80s went back to the Germans and said, hey, you remember that 120mm smoothbore that you wanted to put in the Leopard 2 that we said was not really required in our new battle tank? Can we have it for our new battle tank? And it's there to this day. The M256 is a German license-built copy of the, or an American license-built copy of the German RH-120. At least somebody finally swallowed their pride. So checking out Mr. Chat. Paint scheme makes me think it appeared on the Strand. This is the paint scheme it came with. I bought this at Historicon 2019. I've often kind of wondered it myself. It doesn't look very green. I'm happy with it. I'm not going to repaint the whole thing. I got it for $10 at Historicon. I felt bad for it because it was broken. It literally had this whole wheel missing. I had to fabricate this wheel from scratch. I think this is 2 dimes, some poster board, some paper, and a little bit of plastic. I literally made a homemade wheel. Super glued it to a new axle so that it would the tank would basically stand on all 4 legs instead of, like a 3-legged dog trying to run down the street. And other than that, now I'm going to replace these antennae because these antennae are about absurd. I'm going to replace these with broom bristles when I get around to it, and I'm going to repaint these god-awful these M2 HB 50 caliber gunner handles. I guess they were going for like a wooden brown, and I got like this weird orange, pink, salmon train wreck, but I'm going to fix that, don't worry. Anyway, right now I just wanted to get on camera and make sure that we didn't forget about you guys, and let you guys know that we are going to be on break until November 1st, the first week of November. Although we're not going to completely go away. Like I said, I'm not sure who was on the stream or when they were, or who might have missed the initial announcement. We are definitely going to come back in the first week of November, but even until then, we're still going to have our Sunday content. But no Wednesday content and no podcasts for pretty much the rest of October. We actually used to do this a lot more often. We used to take seasonal breaks like every 6 months or so. To be honest, things were getting a little hectic in other parts of our lives. And it suddenly kind of, at least to me, it suddenly occurred to me that, we haven't had a break in a while. I think our last official break was Father's Day 2020. So we haven't been on a break in almost a year and a half. I don't even think we were on a break for the holidays. I sure as shit know I wasn't. Building up and crushing out all that 30th anniversary Gulf War content. The Strand was a strip of land maybe 10 miles long along the DMZ. It was like the Middle East desert. The DMZ, are you talking about, you're talking about in Korea, right? Or are you talking about Vietnam? Because this tank has been in both places. I don't think it served in the Vietnam, didn't serve in the Korean War, but I'm sure it's seen service in Korea since the ceasefire. I was walking through the vendors hall at Historicon 2019 up near Lancaster, Philadelphia, or Lancaster, Pennsylvania, near Philadelphia. And yeah, he was like, "Oh, take me home. I'm broken. No one else wants me." This guy's selling me for like $10. So, another rescue from the pound, like that 810 I had. Let me go ahead and see if I can help out this little model. Give him a home who loves him. I honestly have no idea when I would ever use this on the gaming table. I don't have any infantry figures even close to this big. It's way too big even for 28mm. Oh god, yeah. This is 28mm here. And it's way too small for this monster tank. That's at least 1:36, if not 1:32. I mean, the Walker Bulldog is a pretty small tank, but it's a pretty big model. Do I have a ruler handy? No, I don't. Otherwise, I would measure. So we have our new Sitrep merch on our new website. Again, that is thesitreppodcast.com. All one word, but you do have to put the in front of it. I got my coffee. I bring that up because I got my coffee cups the other day. So I now have my coffee cups and I have my pint glasses. Alright, so I'm going to be washing this thing for like several hours. There's a lot of little lines in here, and I'm going to be pin washing all of them. This is some nice, mellow, no stress kind of hobby here. Again, it's not for any kind of project or article series or video. I doubt I would even ever use this on the gaming table. Because it's way out of scale with almost everything, with everything I have. But that actually is a good thing because it makes it nice and low stress. It has been the mother of all shitty 2 weeks in like every column of the life chart. There isn't an area of my life that has not been really challenging. Sort of self-censored myself there a little bit. So this is just the kind of thing I need. Something nice and mellow and no expectations, no deadlines, nothing crazy. Kind of like the way hobby's supposed to be. Right? All right, so real quick, that was Vallejo Umber Wash. Oop, that's not in focus. Hold on. If I get a little bit further down, or maybe if I hold on. Oh, never mind. I'll have to do it here in camera. You probably can't read that. Lavender Umber Wash. Hold on just a second here. I didn't set it on, oh man. It's not supposed to be on autofocus. Did that make it better or worse? That made it worse. Alright, I'll bring it up close and then adjust manually. Hopefully that's a little bit more clear. So Umber Wash is what I'm using. I like dark washes. I like dark washes and I will not lie. No, seriously. Dark washes are kind of where it's at least for me. I usually paint in much smaller scales. So I'm a fan of high definition on my models because, 15mm or 10mm figures, at the most 20, at least for me. I know this is way more than 20. Good grief, I don't even know what this would be in millimeters. This might almost be Vorpal size. This is getting up there. 1:32. I don't even know what that is in millimeter. Let's see. If 28 is 56, this is about 50 per. No, I suck at math in my head. If 15 mil is 1 to 100, this is 3 times that. like 1 to 32 is about 3 times the linear size of 1 to 100. So 45, 50 mil. I don't think it's quite vorpal bite size, but it's getting there. So this is way bigger than the scales I usually work in. That's why I usually just do it in Vallejo black, straight out. Because I like high definition on my models, because my models are usually very small, and you put them on a tabletop 2 to 4 feet away, you can't even see them anymore, let alone make out any details. But for a model this size, I'm going with something a little more muted. Again, Umber Wash for the wash. And my music is turned off. I have no idea why I did that. Oh, there it goes. Sorry, it was just looping. Your tank is close to the scale I use. Oh, yeah, 130 of 60 millimeter. Yeah, I don't know if it's 1 to 30. Given how small the M41 Walker Bulldog is, it might be. I'm thinking more 132, 1 to 36, but that's a guess. I'd actually have to get a ruler, measure the tank, compare it versus real life measurements of the M41, and do a comparison. You know, kind of do the division. So I'm not entirely sure. An M48's just slightly larger, solid pewter. M48's slightly larger, kind of like that. Now I think it doesn't give me a scale on this either. This is from Fields of Valor. It's almost too big to fit on camera. This is my M60A1 U.S. Marine Corps 1991 Gulf War. So it's got the ERA reactive armor panels that the Marine Corps was using in these battles. Most notably 1st and 3rd Marine tank battalions at places like El Jabra Airfield, El Burqa oil fields, El Burqan oil fields, and later the Kuwait International Airport. So this thing isn't solid pewter, but again, you'll see this little metal piece under here. It also lost the wheel, and I still had the wheel, thankfully, but the wheel was no longer. These wheels are actually independently sprung, if you can see that. So the tank will actually go over terrain. The problem is this one snapped, and I had to kind of I had to basically retread the tank, which wasn't fun. But again, tank is back sitting on all 4 wheels, or on all 4 legs, so it's pretty good. I'm not sure what scale it is. It's about Army Man scale, so 2-inch figures. It actually used to come. This commander's tank, this commander's hatch used to open. There it goes. And it actually came with a tank commander. And the tank commander was pretty much the size of like a, supermarket green and tan, plastic army guy. So 72 millimeter, something like that. No, that can't be right. 2 inches is roughly, roughly 50 millimeters. So up to the eyes, I don't know, something like that. Oh my god. So again, I'm gonna keep poking at this M40. I might use some of my El Cheapo craft store paint like I like to use. Some either dark gray or light gray. I'll see which one looks better. Probably the dark gray. I might lighten up this dark gray a little bit and use it on some of the surfaces for chipping. Because this tank is way too pristine. It's time to bang the sucker up a little bit. So I'll probably work on that a little bit in the coming days and weeks. Yeah, just get this guy a little better. One thing I'm definitely going to fix are those handles on the 50 caliber machine gun and these god-awful radio antenna. Those have got to go. But I know just what I can replace that with. That's an easy fix. Okay, but for now, guys, we've been up for, like I said, we were only going to be up about half an hour tonight. It was a super quick stream. The real reason for the stream, again, was really to announce our break. We didn't just want to disappear from the airwaves or whatever and say, oh yeah, by the way, we're on seasonal break, didn't we tell you? That's not what we do. So I just wanted to, come on real fast and say that we're going to be on break until November 1st. Even until then, we're still going to keep up with the Sunday content. Just don't expect any Wednesday content or any podcasts up until then. And then we'll be back, I think, the first week of November. Whatever the first Saturday of November is when we'll actually have our first podcast. But for now, check the chat one more time. Yep. My tanks are 5 inches by 9 inches by 4 inches. I don't have a ruler with me. That's about what this is, though. I mean, just by guesstimation. Am I sure I don't have a ruler on me? I thought I had one in this box somewhere. No, I do not have a ruler super handy. Sorry. Otherwise, I would measure it. It looks about what this is. I mean, here's my hand for scale. So if I spread my fingernail, or my forefinger, my index finger, and my thumb, it just about, can touch the 2 fenders of the tank, front and back. So there we go. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and close out the stream for now. Thanks very much, everybody, for all your support as always. And for the next couple of weeks, again, your patience, because, like I said, we are going to be on a little bit of a break just for a couple of weeks, but we'll be back in November. Up until then, we will still keep going with our November content, so keep an eye out for that. There is no game this. There is no game this Sunday, but we will have prepared content up for you guys. I think you'll like it. We're trying something new. We're trying something fun and new, and I hope you guys will like it. We're trying to try out new things, to see if we can. You can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. So Sunday is. Yeah, keep an eye on us on our YouTube channel, especially on Sunday. Sunday's gonna have some new stuff up on there for you guys. I hope you like it. If not, no worries. We just won't do it again. This is kind of a test balloon, a reconnaissance in force, and we'll see what you guys think of it. After that, again, we'll still be running our Sunday content until the break is over. Because if you completely quit on YouTube, you wind up dropping it out of the algorithm, and it's not good. So we're gonna do a little bit on YouTube just to get us through the break, and then first, with November, we'll be back full force. So for now, this is Ariskany, thanking everybody one more time. Be cool, enjoy your Halloween if I don't see you again before then, and we'll be in touch. Again, full strength in November, but we'll be around before then. So take care, everybody, and Tango Mike for watching.